When you get right down to it, in my mind, sustainability is making rational choices about what you're doing now and how it's going to affect the future.
Clemson, MUSC, and USC came together in 1998 with private foundation funding to start the Sustainable Universities Initiative. And then in 2000, the South Carolina General Assembly gave us a one-time appropriation that allowed us to expand across the state. 13 other schools opted to join at that time, and with very little money and very little planning, they've been able to do some really amazing things.
The major objective of our Sustainable Universities Initiative at the research universities as well as all the other institutions is twofold. One is to educate the products of our institution to be aware of their ecological footprint on Earth. Secondly, if we're going to educate, we as the institutions have to be practicing what we preach.
We have an opportunity to greatly influence many young minds that will really have a profound impact on how we practice in the future.
A very significant part of the Sustainable University Initiative is that it has gotten the schools working together. It was a requirement of the grant that we work together. And in fact, we found that it has been very beneficial. We do, in fact, exchange information. We generate ideas and share them. We've had joint projects, and we've seen many ways in which the universities can cooperate in teaching, in research, and in sharing resources for the operations of our universities.
There are so many benefits to having been involved with the Sustainable Universities Initiative that it's very hard to name them all. But what I found is that I've gained so much by going beyond what I've learned in books. And one of the ways that the topics that we've learned have been reinforced are through seminars and lectures. Just last month, I was at Clemson University where we listened to a lecture by a Japanese diplomat discussing the Kyoto Protocol.
It's a new way of educating, the concept of learning about systems, not just particular things.
One of the things that I love about Sustainable Universities is that it really does cut across all disciplines.
MUSC has made progress in its academic side. We're offering new courses that are introducing our healthcare students to the concepts of sustainability. We're making progress in our operations side. We're consuming less energy, we're recycling materials, and we're composting our waste.
We've got several recycling and sustainability programs going on. We've got the vermicomposting program. In the first 2 years, we recycled over 27,000 pounds of food and cardboard and newspaper.
University housing here has completely embraced the sustainability theme.
We have our Take It or Leave It program every spring. We have our cardboard corral project in the fall. We have our energy efficient and water conservation oriented washing machines and dryers. We've gone to electric vehicles, which we're trying to convert our fleet to. We're attempting to institute an environmental management system plan within the department. We're working towards green building and green renovations for all our dorms, for all our summer projects.
With my student environment organization, SUI has been instrumental in the football game recycling and Earth Day activities and sponsoring conferences.
So I'm exploring the environment and how environmental degradation affects communities, people.
Oh, I hired an assistant professor, Dr. Jimmy Roberts, who had an interest in pediatric environmental health. People often don't realize how difficult it is to change the medical school curriculum, which is very much like the curriculum of 100 years ago. SUI has allowed Dr. Roberts to make some really important changes in how and what our medical students are taught about their relationship, their patient's relationship to the environment and sustainability.
What we have done is developed a series of learning tools that will create an awareness in health profession students who can then begin to incorporate a concern for the environment, a concern for the population health as opposed to just the individual health, that they can begin to use this as they grow into their professions.
We're doing the biodiversity inventories. We're doing tree inventory and management program. We're doing environmental management system approaches. And all those things can also be combined with academic questions.
For my project, I used Clemson University as a laboratory. I used both the Clemson Experimental Forest, which Clemson owns, and I used where we are standing today, the Botanical Gardens.
We're taking a multidisciplinary approach so that the engineers don't just learn engineering and engineering analysis, they're starting to learn about complex systems. We've had projects with industry where we're helping them learn how to reuse and recycle.
The Sustainable Universities Initiative helped fund our Habitat for Humanity project, which has actually become an ongoing project as well. They provided the initial money to get this project started at the local level.
We've got the LED project, which was done in our clinical science building. We're saving a quarter of the energy by using LED bulbs instead of incandescent bulbs.
We have already begun to implement the environmental management system here.
The environmental management system is a very fundamental paradigm change at universities, and particularly here at the University of South Carolina, where this is a preemptive, proactive approach.
Lander University in Winthrop have students out studying the watersheds where they are. Francis Marion had a student research project on recycling that was so good that they were invited to present at a national conference. Interesting research projects going on at College of Charleston. Coastal Carolina had an Earth Day cleanup, and the students there collected this huge aquarium full of cigarette butts, which makes a pretty powerful statement.
Clemson University has partnered with the University of South Carolina on the schoolyard project. The director of the Belzer Arboretum has partnered with us. She's been the major contact at several of the schools in the Columbia area and has taken the designs that Clemson University students have completed and developed curriculum that meets state standards.
If anything that SUI has done well is it's instilled a sense of collaboration across the enterprise.
They have influenced the direction that our students are taking. They've also influenced the directions and the places that we look to for grant money.
We can see students thinking about things in a different way, and that's exciting.
So what we try to do is recognize good opportunities, give the people the resources, the encouragement, and the interactions that they need to get started, and then translate that into a long-term effect on the students, the staff, the faculty, and the operation of the universities.